Hello students, and welcome to the vocabulary for equations and inequalities. You can see our essential question is this is the vocabulary you'll need to know for the lesson. You're going to want to pause right here to copy down these two slides. Okay, welcome back. So our first vocab word, I put them in alphabetical order. These aren't the order they come in the lesson, but I like to have it for later purposes. They're easier to find once we have learned the vocab, so we did keep them alphabetical. First thing we have is our additive inverse, and that's when you combine a number with another number, and it creates the number 0. So for example, the additive inverse of -5 is 5. Additive inverse of 5 is -5. And really, it's just a fancy word for opposite. All right, moving on to our next vocabulary word, we have equivalent equations. Those are equations that just have the same solutions. They look definitely different, similar to equivalent fractions. Same for equivalent inequalities. Inverse, big word for this lesson. Inverse is synonymous with backwards. So doing something inverse is its backwards direction. Inverse operation is an operation that undoes another. So the inverse of addition is subtraction, inverse of subtraction is addition, inverse of multiply is divide, inverse of divide is multiply. So it's that operation that undoes another. I'm going to ask you to pause one more time and copy down our last two slides here. Excellent, welcome back. So we have multiplicative inverse, and really this is just a fancy word for reciprocal. So the multiplicative inverse of 2 is 1/2. Notice, just like reciprocals, they don't change signs. It's important. Operations, we've heard that a lot. I just want to reiterate it. Solution, it's the answer to the equation that makes it true. Two-step equations are equations that have two operations in them. That's it. So not a lot of vocab in this lesson or in this unit, but if you do have any others you want to add to it, that's perfectly fine. And if you have any questions, just ask.